भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमा श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। नमः पङ्कजनाभाय नमः पङ्कजमालिने नमः पङ्कजनेत्राय नमस्ते पङ्कजाङ्घ्रे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Reading from Sri Chaitanya Mangala by Srila Lochan Das Thakur from the Sutra Khanda Song 12, text 562 to 565. Nama Guru Sankirtana Vaishnavera Shakti Prakasha Koribo Ami Nija Prema Bhakti. Chanting of the name and qualities of Krishna is the life and energy of the Vaishnavas. I will reveal these activities and rejuvenate pure devotional service unto myself. This is spoken by Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself. Ei mote koli papo koribo sanghar Shabe chalo age pache na kore vichar. In this way, I will destroy all the sins in Kali Yuga. So all of you, my dear associates, go ahead and take birth on the earthly planet, before my advent, and don't remain behind. Eve namo sankirtano tikshana khadogolaya antaro asura jivero phelibe katiya. Taking the sharp sword of the congregational chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra, Sri Nama Sankirtan, I will root out and destroy the demoniac mentality in the hearts of all the conditioned souls. Jodi papi chhari dharma dure deshe jai moro senapati bhakta jaive tathai. If some sinful people escape and giving up religious principles go off to far-off countries, then my Senapati Bhakta will come at that time and give them Krishna consciousness. Senapati, a military field commander. Bhakta means a devotee. Lord Chaitanya will empower his own devotee to spread Krishna consciousness around the world. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimati Radhanath Swaminiti Namine. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimati Jayapataka Swaminiti Namine. Nama Acharya Padaya Nitai Kripa Pradayine Gaura Katha Dhamadaya Nagara Gramatarine. Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangor Langayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Hare Krishna. So this topic that we chose today to discuss about Srila Prabhupada, the first thing is that 1 hour is definitely not enough to discuss the glories of Srila Prabhupada. 1 day is not enough to discuss the glories of Srila Prabhupada, what he has done for all of us, and to understand what Srila Prabhupada has done. We definitely need the mercy of our Guru Vargas. We definitely need the mercy and the blessings of the Vaishnavas. But the main thing is that we need to understand that yes, we cannot do justice in this 1 hour that is allotted to glorify Srila Prabhupada and to understand the level of contribution that Srila Prabhupada has given for all of us. But the only thing that we can strive to do is beg at his lotus feet, beg at the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada, that he allows us access to understand his own glories. That is our prayer. That is the way that we beg at the lotus feet of our spiritual grandfather. It is said that the very first thing I heard is that we are very fortunate. When I first came to Krishna consciousness, this is back in 1992, I heard from my spiritual master, he said that the fathers are generally very strict with their children, but grandfathers are very lenient with their grandchildren. They're very lenient. They're very loving, very affectionate. Because grandchildren are somewhere, the grandparents see them as continuing on the legacy, So grandparents always pamper their grandchildren. They always pamper them. So it was told by Srila Jayapataka Maharaj in the very early days to me one time. He told this to me personally. He said that so Srila Prabhupada has special mercy upon the second generation because all of you are his grandchildren. So being the grandchild of Srila Prabhupada is a great honor, it's a great benediction, and it is a huge responsibility as well. So with this light, we will try to proceed to try and understand about Srila Prabhupada. So as Srila Lochan Das Thakur is quoting in the Chaitanya Mangala, in Sutra Khanda, these verses that were spoken by Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that how he is going to come in this Kali Yuga. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will come with the sword of the congregational chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Khadaga loya. Khadaga means that with the sword of the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, I will root out and destroy the demoniac mentality in the hearts of all the conditioned souls. So this is the greatness of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that he is not just killing. In every age Krishna comes, Krishna kills demons. When Kali Yuga, the problem is that every one of us has a demoniac mentality, a demoniac personality residing within ourselves. So to kill that demoniac personality, while not killing, all of us suffer from split personality defect. We all have that disease of split personality. Sometimes we are a devotee, sometimes we are a demon. Or rather, most of the time, at least, I am a demon. So our only hope is that when Mahaprabhu comes with this congregational chanting of the holy names, the sword of the congregational chanting of the holy names, he will slay that demon that keeps sprouting its ugly head within us. He will just cut off the neck, the throat of that ugly demon. That is the glory of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Mahaprabhu is saying finally that Jodi papi chhadi dharma dur deshe jai. That if by any chance some sinful people escape and giving up religious principles go off to far off countries, more Senapati Bhakta jaive tathai. That I am going to send my Senapati Bhakta who will go over there and deliver them Krishna consciousness. Just see the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Such mercy, such kindness, that even if someone is escaping, and Mahaprabhu doesn't want anybody to escape, that he is going to send his special commander-in-chief, his Senapati Bhakta, to that place, Jaive Tathai, will go there to deliver those people, those escaping sinful people. So this is the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is the mercy of the devotees of Krishna. It is said that, more merciful than Krishna, Krishna is very, very merciful. There's no doubt of it. How Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Sarva dharman parityajya mekam sharanam vraja. Aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayami ma shuchaha. That you abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I will deliver you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear. Krishna gives this assurance, makes this promise in the Bhagavad Gita. Krishna, being the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he is giving us this promise. However, there is a but in this, in the sense that there is a condition, that we have to first surrender to Krishna, and then Krishna will deliver us. That's a promise. But the first step has to come from us. So how to make that first step? Krishna did not mention. So Krishna came in his more merciful form as his own devotee 500 years ago, as Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he gave how to surrender to Krishna, simply by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Simply by chanting this Hare Krishna Mahamantra, we will be able to, slay this demoniac mentality within us and be able to surrender to Krishna. And then Krishna will definitely deliver us. But Mahaprabhu is saying that, I am here within the shores of India. Mahaprabhu traveled every length and breadth of India. But he said that, what about the people who are outside of India, who have not taken birth in the holy land of India? What about those people? Jodi papi chhadi dharma dur deshe jai. That if the sinful people, if they're escaping and if they're going up, if they're giving up their religious principles and going off to far-off countries, then my Senapati Bhakta, my commander-in-chief will come and go to that place and give them Krishna consciousness. So this is the mercy of the devotee of Krishna. Senapati Bhakta, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So that Senapati Bhakta is none other than Srila Prabhupada. So we know how Srila Prabhupada came so special. Srila Prabhupada appeared in 1896 on the most auspicious day of Nandotsava. So this year we are actually celebrating the 122nd appearance day of Srila Prabhupada, which is coming up on Tuesday. And Srila Prabhupada When he appeared on the day of Nandotsav, more than Janmashtami, Nandotsav is, considered or celebrated very, very widely. Janmashtami, of course, it is the appearance of Krishna. Krishna appeared at midnight. So, of course, the festivities go on during the whole day. Nowadays, the way we do is that we celebrate during the whole day. And midnight, finally, Krishna made his appearance. But in Gokul, when Krishna actually appeared in Gokul, the celebrations that was done by Nanda Maharaj in Gokul was the day after. And that is why the day after, the entire Gokul was swinging and dancing, celebrating the appearance of Krishna. And that is why it came to be known as Nandotsava. That the way Maharaj Nanda celebrated the appearance of Krishna was that he made the entire Mother Earth celebrate the appearance of his, transcendental child, Krishna. So that's why this day, the next day of Janmashtami, is celebrated with great pomp and merry. And that day is the divine appearance of the Senapati Bhakta, Srila Prabhupada. So Srila Prabhupada made his divine appearance in 1986, 122 years ago. And, when Srila Prabhupada appeared, his appearance was also predicted by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur as well. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur in 1885, he had written one of the, in those days, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he would write a magazine called Sajjana Toshani, and one of the volumes in 1885, he mentioned that Lord Chaitanya did not advent himself to liberate only a few men in India. Rather, his main objective was to emancipate all living entities in all countries throughout the entire universe and preach the eternal religion. There is no doubt that this unquestionable order will come to pass. Very soon, the unparalleled path of Hari Nam Sankirtan will be propagated all over the world. Oh, for that day when the fortunate English, French, Russian, German, and American people will take up banners, mridangas, and kartals and raise kirtan through their streets and towns. When will that day come? That day will witness the holy transcendental ecstasy of the Vaishnava Dharma to be the only Dharma, and all the sects and religion will flow like rivers into the ocean of Vaishnava Dharma. When will that day come? So this is the prediction of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. He is known as the seventh Goswami, very, very powerful Acharya. He could predict this. He could see into the future. They are Trikaldarshis. So what Srila Prabhupada brought to Mayapur, to Vrindavan, these different devotees from these different countries with banners, mridangas and kartals, they are chanting through the streets. Not only in Mayapur and Vrindavan and all over India, but even in their own towns, in their streets and towns, Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying. This is so amazing. What prediction, what legacy, we are part of. We are part of this sampradaya which has such powerful acharyas. When we try to take an insight into this, we understand what a legacy we have. It is unparalleled in this entire world, in the creation. We are so fortunate to be part of this legacy, to be part of the sampradaya that has powerful acharyas like Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So, Srila Prabhupada, he made his sweet appearance in 1986, as we said, on the day of Nandotsava. And Srila Prabhupada was, very fond. His father was very, very fond of him. And Srila Prabhupada's father named him Abhay Charan. Abhay Charan means taking shelter of the lotus feet of Krishna, we become completely fearless. Abhaya Charana. So that's what was Srila Prabhupada's name that was given by Gaur Mohan De, Srila Prabhupada's father. And Srila Prabhupada's father was a great devotee. Srila Prabhupada in fact said on many occasions that his father is a pure devotee. Because Srila Prabhupada's father, he was a simple cloth merchant, and he would serve so many Vaishnavas, devotees, in their home. And when those devotees would leave after being served very nicely, the only benediction that Gaur Mohan De would ask the saints who would visit him is that, please bless my son Abhay, so that he becomes a very good devotee of Srimati Radharani. That is the blessing that Gaur Mohan De would ask all the saints who would visit. There were actually, during the Annaprashana ceremony of Srila Prabhupada, there was a prediction by the astrologer that this boy, he is going to travel across the borders of India, and he is going to set up many temples around the whole world. And listening to this, Srila Prabhupada's father was very, very happy. He was so happy that my son has come, who is going to take the Sanatan Dharma outside the shores of India. He was very, very happy. He used to really pray that this prediction would come true. And Srila Prabhupada, he says that what I am today is by the prayers and the blessings of my father. Prabhupada many occasions would say this. And later, how we know how Srila Prabhupada, there is one instance in his childhood that I recently came to know of, that because Gaur Mohan De would actually tell Srila Prabhupada so many pastimes of Radha and Krishna. And then one day it seems Srila Prabhupada asked Gaur Mohan De, where is Krishna? Where can I see him? And Gaur Mohan De very, very, very innocently said that Krishna is in Vrindavan. So from that day, little Abhay would start seeing train schedules to see how much it would cost him from go to Calcutta to Delhi, and then from Delhi, how is he going to go to Vrindavan? He would plan that trip, and he would start saving for that trip. That when will that day come when I will go and see Krishna in Vrindavan? Because he would get so attracted by all the beautiful pastimes that his father would share as, bedtime stories to Srila Prabhupada. So Srila Prabhupada very fondly remembers his childhood days with his father in deep absorption of Radha and Krishna. So Srila Prabhupada, the first time that he met his spiritual master was in 1922, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And in that first, time, Srila Prabhupada was instructed by Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur, by Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, that you are a very nice young man. You are very educated. So you know English. Therefore, you should preach the mission of Lord Chaitanya, especially to the English-speaking countries in the Western world. And at that time, Srila Prabhupada said, he was actually at that time, he was addicted to, the Gandhi movement, because India was not yet independent. And he was, very much motivated by and influenced by Gandhiji, by the by the principles and the revolutions of Gandhiji. He was very much impressed. Srila Prabhupada was, also for some time he was part with Subhash Chandra Bose also. So a lot of things Srila Prabhupada was doing at that time. He was very much influenced by the freedom movement that was going on in India at that time. So when his spiritual master told him like this, Srila Prabhupada responded that, don't you think that that India should first become independent? First we should gain independence from the British Raj, and then we can think about, taking spirituality, to the next level. To that, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur replied that this is such an important thing that it cannot wait for the independence of a particular country. That we are all actually slaves. That this spiritual knowledge is going to show us how to become free of that slavery. So this Krishna consciousness cannot wait for us to become independent. It is very, very important. So like this, Srila Prabhupada was actually very, very impressed in his first meeting with Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And then later in 1933, after 11 years of waiting, Srila Prabhupada actually took formal initiation from Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And, it is explained that at that time, Srila Prabhupada wrote a very nice poem, in glorification to Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And he wrote a letter to Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur saying that all of your disciples, they're all sannyasis and Babajis, and they're serving you so much. But I'm just a simple householder. I cannot do anything. Please let me know if there's anything I can do for you. So then, just 2 weeks before Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur left this world in 1936, he sent the final letter to Srila Prabhupada, instructing him again to take the message of Krishna consciousness and spread it to the Western world. And Srila Prabhupada later, he actually remembered this, and he just laughed and said that, that I really did not know that I was going to have to actually do it. Srila Prabhupada kind of laughed at it, and he said that I know my Guru Maharaj was telling me, but at that time it seemed so impossible that, I am so insignificant, that how can I take the teachings of Sri Chaitanya to the Western-speaking world? How am I even going to go to the Western-speaking world? How am I even going to think of fulfilling this particular instruction given by my Guru Maharaj? So it seemed so impossible. So Srila Prabhupada laughed at it sometime later in the years to some of his disciples and said that I did not even know that I was going to have to actually do it, Then, of course, Srila Prabhupada, he finally left his family in 1959, and Srila Prabhupada accepted the renounced order of life. He took sannyas at the Keshav Gaurya Math in Mathura. And he started living in Vrindavan at the most famous Sri Sri Radha Damodar temple. And while living there, as a sannyasi, it is explained that Srila Prabhupada did not even have a proper source of income. He would actually write the Back to Godhead magazine, and he would print them all the way. He would go to Delhi by himself. He would print there by himself. And then he would distribute the magazines on the streets of Delhi. Personally, he would do that. And whatever Lakshmi would come, he would use it to again print some more books, because there were these two instructions that were given by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur to Srila Prabhupada, actually three. He said that you should translate all our Bengali literature, Bengali and Sanskrit, you should translate it in the English language. That was one instruction. Second instruction that Srila Prabhupada was given is that whenever you have some money, print books. The third instruction is, take this message of Krishna consciousness across the borders of India to the Western-speaking world. So these were the three instructions that Srila Prabhupada received from his Guru Maharaj. So whenever he would have some Lakshmi, Srila Prabhupada, it is explained that he would sometimes go even hungry for days, because he would save Lakshmi so that he can print his magazine. So one time, one of his friends told Srila Prabhupada that, why you printing magazine? Why don't you start writing books? Because, magazines people tend to throw away, but books, they will read and they will keep it with themselves. So Srila Prabhupada immediately liked that idea, and he immediately started writing books. He started staying in Vrindavan and absorbed at the temple of Shri Radha Damodar, always overlooking the samadhi of Srila Rupa Goswami there in the shelter of Shri Radha Damodar temple. He started writing books. He completed 3 manuscripts of the Srimad Bhagavatam. And then he felt ready that, yes, now I'm ready to go to the Western country to try and, fulfill the orders of my spiritual master. So he approached Sumati Morarji, the chairman of the Scindia Steamship Company. And he went there and he just got an appointment, and he met with this very pious Indian lady, Srimati Sumati Morarji. And Srimati Sumati Morarji, she was so moved by meeting Srila Prabhupada and his sincerity. But she said that, Swamiji, how can I give you passage to the U.S.? I cannot do that. I cannot, you are so old, you are like my father. I cannot give you this passage because there is nobody who's going to take care of you. How will you live? He said, I don't mind. You just give me passage to go to America. I want to go to America. This is my Guru Maharaj's instruction to me. Like this, Srila Prabhupada would say, and Sumati Morarji would say, no, Swamiji, I cannot do that. So Srila Prabhupada, it is explained that he would sit on the steps of her office in Mumbai to just, show to her that how determined he is to execute the orders of his spiritual master. And then finally, Sumati Morarji, she accepted and she agreed, seeing the sincerity of Srila Prabhupada, seeing the determination of Srila Prabhupada, she agreed to give him a free passage on her one of her steamboats on the Jaladuta. Jaladuta was starting from Calcutta. So Srila Prabhupada came back. He started preparing for his journey. And he had 40 rupees in his pocket at that time. And at that time, Srila Prabhupada's youngest son, Sri Vrindavan De, came with Srila Prabhupada to the docks of the Calcutta port to see him off. There was nobody else who came to see off Srila Prabhupada. Only his son, youngest son, Vrindavan, was with Prabhupada. And Srila Prabhupada climbed on board the ship Jaladuta, and then Srila Prabhupada remembered and he called Vrindavan and he said that, my dear son, I forgot to take some medicines. Srila Prabhupada would take some Ayurvedic medicines. So he took out the 40 rupees from his pocket and he gave it to Vrindavan and said that, please buy these medicines for me and send it to this address in America, to the address of Sally Agarwal. And Vrindavan De agreed, and he did that. So this was revealed just a few years ago by Vrindavan De himself in the celebrations of ISKCON 50 at Kolkata. This vital information was revealed by Vrindavan De himself. He said that, the fact that Srila Prabhupada actually went there with 40 rupees in his pocket was not true. He did board the ship, But then he remembered he needed these medicines, so he called me. I was standing downstairs. He called me and he gave me that 40 rupees. So Srila Prabhupada actually traveled the Jaladuta practically penniless. He didn't have even a single paisa with him. That he had the treasure of the faith in his spiritual master. That was the treasure that Srila Prabhupada was coming with to this unknown land. At the fag end of his life, Srila Prabhupada came at the age of 69. When he was traveling the Jaladuta, Prabhupada was never, he never traveled, across this, 7 seas, across the 7 seas to come to America. It was his first voyage. And Srila Prabhupada suffered seasickness. He was very sick during this entire journey. And Srila Prabhupada, because of the seasickness, he endured 2 heart attacks on the way. And at that time, Srila Prabhupada wrote in his diary that, my dear Lord Krishna, if you so desire, please allow me to fulfill the orders of my spiritual master. I'm going to this unknown land, taking this impossible journey, but I know that if I get a 3rd heart attack, I will not survive, and my mission will stay incomplete. So my dear Lord Krishna, please, just like how you had protected the people in your fish incarnation, please, if you so desire, protect me so that I can serve the instructions of my spiritual master. Like the Srila Prabhupada prayed. And the people of the ship, they felt that there was an immediate, change in the way the Atlantic and the Pacific became. The Atlantic became so, calm. The Pacific Ocean became so calm. The ocean became so calm because Krishna himself became the Karnadhara of that Jaladuta ship. Krishna himself took it upon himself to make sure that Srila Prabhupada has a safe voyage. So when Srila Prabhupada in 1965, when he was traveling, Janmashtami fell during that time when they were passing through the Suez Canal. And at that time, Srila Prabhupada cooked a very nice feast because he started feeling better. So he cooked a very nice feast and for Janmashtami, and he distributed to all the crew members. And they all celebrated Janmashtami on board the ship Jaladuta. And Srila Prabhupada celebrated his appearance day. In 1965, he celebrated his appearance day on board the ship Jaladuta. Now, let us all try to imagine, we are all here in this foreign country. When we first came to this foreign country, what was all the preparations that we underwent? We knew that where we are going to stay. We knew who is going to come and pick us up at the airport. We have some traveler's checks, some US dollars with us in our pocket. We knew exactly where we were going. Now let's consider Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada did not even have he didn't even know who was going to come to receive him, whether somebody is going to come and receive him or not. He didn't even know. He was just going to stay at the home of Gopal Agarwal, whose wife, Sally Agarwal, had sponsored Prabhupada's visa, and he just had an address. So he didn't even know, they did not even know that whether this Swamiji would come. They had just sponsored. Whether he's going to make it or not, they did not even know. No phones those days. So Srila Prabhupada did not even know where he has to go. He just had an address, a small little address written of Gopal Agarwal's. And he did not know that who was going to come to pick him up. So when Srila Prabhupada was arriving at Boston Harbor, at the Boston Pier, Srila Prabhupada, he wrote that very beautiful poem, Markine Bhagavad Dharma. extremely beautiful poem that Srila Prabhupada wrote. And the most important lines in that poem is how Srila Prabhupada submitted himself in the hands of Krishna. He said, I am a wooden doll, a puppet in your hands. Kasthera putoli jatha nachao shei mote. That please, my dear Lord Krishna, I have nothing to claim as my own. It's only the name that I have been bestowed upon, Bhakti Vedanta, the name that has been given by my Guru Maharaj, and the instruction that he has given me. With that treasure I have come here to this unknown land. I am just a puppet in your hands, my dear Lord. Just make me dance, make me dance. Make me dance the way you feel. I'm just a puppet in your hands. What beautiful mood Srila Prabhupada came with. You know, when he was looking upon Boston's bleak and dirty skyline, Srila Prabhupada was making this prayer. He wrote in his own handwriting, he wrote this beautiful poem, Markine Bhagavad Dharma. And he landed, he docked on the Boston pier, and then in the middle of the night, he actually showed up. Somehow or the other, Srila Prabhupada, by taking some lift, you know, because he did not have any Lakshmi, Srila Prabhupada just made his way somehow or the other to the home of Gopal Agarwal. In the middle of the night, he arrived at the home of Gopal Agarwal. And he stayed there for some time. And, you know, then he moved to New York. When he came to New York, most of the time, Srila Prabhupada, his idea was that he's just going to preach to the masses. You know, he's just going to give Krishna consciousness to the masses. And he started living in the Bowery near 22nd Avenue in New York, and he started going to Tompkins Square Park every day. And he would take a small drum, a pair of kartals, and he would just sit under a tree and chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And then some people would get attracted to the chanting, and then they would come. Srila Prabhupada would invite them to the storefront, which he had named Matchless Gift. So for that 1 year, from 1965 to 1966, Srila Prabhupada really struggled in America all by himself. But Srila Prabhupada writes that I never felt alone. I never felt alone. That even though there was biting cold, New York is freezing. All of us know how cold New York can get. And New York, trust me, in those days was not like the way it is today. New York is like Mumbai today, But in those days, it was not like that. And Srila Prabhupada, when he would go to buy some supplies, Srila Prabhupada, being a wonderful Indian, if the price, he would go to buy some grocery, and then if they would say, okay, the price is $1, Srila Prabhupada would say, no, why $1? You should take only 50 cents. And Srila Prabhupada would bargain, because bargaining is the trait of Indians. So Srila Prabhupada would bargain with the shopkeepers, and he would say, no, I will give you only this much for this much, for this particular commodity. Very sweetly, and because of Srila Prabhupada's age, and because of Srila Prabhupada's simplicity, the shopkeepers would be so moved by the way Srila Prabhupada would speak to them, they would just give and agree to whatever Srila Prabhupada would say. And when Srila Prabhupada would roam around the streets of New York, he underwent so much difficulty. His typewriter, his manuscripts got stolen. There was once an attack on Srila Prabhupada. Such hardships Srila Prabhupada underwent while he was alone in New York. But Srila Prabhupada writes in his diary that he never felt alone even for a moment. He always felt the presence of his spiritual master. Later one time, Srila Prabhupada was having a discussion that, with one of his disciples. He said that the devotee said actually to Srila Prabhupada that, so Srila Prabhupada, we can understand all of your instructions simply by reading your book? And Prabhupada replied, yes, you have to follow the instruction. That is required. Follow the instruction. Wherever you remain, it doesn't matter. You are secure if you are following the instruction. Then you are secure anywhere. It doesn't matter. Just like I told you that I saw my Guru Maharaj not more than 10 days in my life, but I followed his instruction. I was a grihastha. I never lived with the mata in the temple. It was practical. So many godbrothers recommended that, he should be in charge in this Bombay temple, this, that. But Guru Maharaj said, yes, better he lives outside. That is good. And he will do what is needed in due course of time. So this is from a morning walk conversation that Srila Prabhupada is stressing that he actually did not see his Guru Maharaj more than 10 days of his life. 3 personal times, that he actually had a personal talk with Srila Prabhupada, Sri Srila Prabhupada. So we can understand that how important, it is to follow the instructions, the Vani of the spiritual master. So anywhere we remain, Srila Prabhupada is saying that anywhere we remain, it doesn't matter if we are simply following the instructions of our spiritual master. It doesn't matter which part of the creation we may be